interested in Tyrone Mitchell because he deals with finance, wealth building.
I'm calling into the Dr. Samori Swygert show, the Pendulum.
Teaches entrepreneurship,
so we're
and all that.
Talking about it right now.
I had to have him riding shotgun to make sure that what I'm saying is authentic and give credence to what I'm saying, because we're in a very interesting point in time where there's some interesting scenes on the horizon. We're seeing different currencies, or if not currencies, we're seeing different media.
We're going to revisit the conversation we had a couple of weeks ago about internet currency called Bitcoin. So right now I'm just waiting to go on the show. Hopefully they put me through.
Google Wallet.
I'm sure they will.
Have these the digital chips on there. The new Amazon market that's going to be coming up shortly, where you can just use your phone and it registers what you purchase, how much you purchased, and you just walk right out of the Amazon store. So you're seeing a plethora of means in which people can obtain goods and services. And so I had Tyrone Mitchell come in and really help facilitate this. And I don't even want to go too far without even bidding this brother adieu. Tyrone, how are you doing?
Hey, Doc, I'm doing fine, man. I hope you are too. Hey, hello? Is my mic on?
Yep.
All right, I'm talking. Yeah, I'm over here talking to myself. I'm not getting a response. I know I'm at home, but I don't need to do that all the time. If I'm going to talk to somebody, I want a response. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, bro. I'm doing well, man. Glad to have you back in the studio again, man.
I'm glad to be back.
The last conversation that you and I had, a lot of people were giving a lot of good feedback. They were really impressed, and they really felt enlightened. So, definitely had to get you back on for a part two.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, I'm definitely glad to be back. The topics that we talked about, especially that internet currency, the Bitcoins, the Ether, all those different things. Folks are wondering, is this something new? But we've been slowly getting involved in with internet currency in different forms. I know you just spoke about the Amazon chip. Well, what is it that we have on our debit cards and our credit cards now? We have a what? A chip. So those things have been in the cycle of getting us to be able to function without having cash currency in our pockets, and making it so where money can transact on a faster basis than with writing a check or even having cash in your pocket. So there's going to be some good aspects to that as well as some bad.
Yes, sir. What I want to do, because there are probably some people that are tuning in and didn't get a chance to hear our prior conversation. Real quick, I'm going to run down 9 quick points of what we talked about, right. And then we'll move it to the next layer of this layer cake that we baked. Right. So point number 1, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. It facilitates the exchange of goods and services. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Bitcoin is not regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. It's not regulated by the Federal Reserve, the government. It's a decentralized financial system.
That's right.
Number 3, Bitcoin users operate outside the perimeter of the American tax code. Okay? That's a biggie. Number 4, Bitcoin users are anonymous. Number 5, Bitcoin users are anonymous, but they have a unique digital ID, a digital signature that allows them to operate inside the Bitcoin exchange.
Right.
Number 6, Bitcoin operates on what's called a blockchain ledger, in which all Bitcoin transactions are recorded on a ledger where both the parties can locate and identify each transaction. The blockchain ledger is maintained by what are called miners, and they're automatically paid in Bitcoin for the amount of transactions they process.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, Bitcoin, Ether, and other cryptocurrencies, they're based on what you own, not debt. Not like, oh, I have a credit card. You can only get the amount of coins based on how much you have.
Right.
Number 8, Bitcoin allows you to conduct transactions globally without any foreign exchange medium. And number 9, which is what I've kind of been like looking at recently, in the news, you have a lot of governments now that are kind of, they're I don't want to say shunning Bitcoin, but they're kind of giving it that, I don't know about Bitcoin per se, because there's this fear, I guess, that it may somehow kind of undercut the currency of whatever the government is. And
Right.
like I said, the taxation part is a big thing. So so for those that are tuning in, those are 9 things for you to think about when we start talking about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoins.
Yeah.
Brother Mitchell, I also want to make sure that people know how to reach you before we go any further, too. What are some of your social media handles, websites, and what you have to offer also?
Well, the first place they can meet me is right here on Source Radio Network at 6 o'clock. We do our show Power Over Tomorrow. And Power Over Tomorrow is geared to provide people with sound financial information so that they can make an educated decision concerning their family, their future, and their finances. Throughout the day, throughout the week, you can reach me on our website at tsmitchell.com. Again, that's tsmitchell.com. On the website, which is our central hub for communicating, on our website, you have access to our Facebook page, our LinkedIn, and our YouTube pages, as well as able to download our free financial apps to your Apple and your Android device. You can also sign up for our monthly financial newsletters that we do. The newsletters that we produce are somewhat as an educational format. It's not about companies or products. It's about education, financial literacy, and most of it is a video that you can watch on your phone, or you can read the hard copy. So that's what we do. Throughout the day, folks will either send me an email at Tyrone at tsmitchell. But the central hub to watch me, to check out everything that we do in the community regarding insurance, investments, taxes, and cash flow can be found right there on our website at tsmitchell.com.
All right. Now, Source Nation, I was, last night I had inbox Tyrone Mitchell, and, just kind of doing prep work for our discussion. And, I was thinking about like this cryptocurrency thing, and then, he kind of reminded me, as I was getting so enraptured in understanding this cryptocurrency, he reminded me that, look, when the economy collapsed, when it took that hit in 2008, when we saw what happened with Lehman Brothers and everything. Mm-hmm. He said the ones that survived, the people that survived, the entities that were able to sustain the hit were people that own their own business.
That's right.
And that, when he said that, I paused for a minute. Matter of fact, I was actually looking at a couple of YouTube videos that were giving the pros and the cons of Bitcoin. And I paused him, and I was like, you know what? He's very correct, because all this cryptocurrency and PayPal and Amazon, these aren't, how can I say, these aren't resources. These are just methods. These are mediums that facilitate the exchange of goods and services. These are not the goods and services. And when anything collapses, when the economy collapses, when a system collapses, it all boils down to who has what and who can do what.
That's right.
So that took my whole discussion tonight to a different level in my mind state. But before that, Brother Mitch, I want you to expound on what you were telling me about when that economy took that hit in 2008, and people that own their businesses and the importance of owning your own business.
Well, on our 6 o'clock show today, my show was focused on teaching our children the truth about business. And the reason why I wanted to focus on that is because when we think about this time we're in, and we're saying it's a different time and there's a lot of things changing. Well, the Lord has blessed me with longevity in life, and I ask for, that He provides me with more longevity. But in my lifetime, this time and back in the 80s, when Ronald Reagan came into the office, there are some similarities regarding the changes that are coming about. Folks in our community, black folks, were saying, well, they even called Reagan the devil. They talked about his name. There's 6 letters in his first name, middle name, and last name. The first thing they said was 666. That was the mindset that was going on. All right, with regards to Ronald Reagan. Now, when he came in, he made some sweeping changes. He made a lot of changes in the economic structure of America. Back then, let me go a little bit further. That's the 80s. But if we go back from World War II, from the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, so if we count 4 decades, all right, the economy was growing because of business. The industrial industry was growing, and what was also growing and helped fueling that growth was unions. Businesses, large businesses they had unions. Unions came in and were able to help stabilize the economic structure for the American household. Once those unions came in, people were able to have some form of a guarantee. They were able to get a job and stay on that job 10, 15, 25, 30, 40 years, retire with a gold watch and a pension. Well, what happened in the late 70s, going into the 80s, there began a process. We used to tell folks, you're going to be fired. And then we went from fired to laid off. And then in the 80s, we went to a process called downsizing. What happened was now the structure of businesses were changing. Folks were being forced out, and there was a great call to bust up the unions. And when they busted up the unions, and many companies moved away from providing pensions. And now you see in many municipalities or government agencies moving away from providing pensions. We used to say that if you had a government job or worked at the post office, you were set for life. Not anymore. So what has happened? Folks had to move. So the ones that continue to succeed in those type of eras, and we see this now with the Trump administration, is that businesses are giving the boost while people are being given the boot. And so what happens here is that in 1997, 98, we had a dip in the market. In 2008, 2009, we started going deeply into the Great Recession. Those that survived the Great Recessions, your Warren Buffetts, okay, your T. Boone Pickens, okay, and a lot of the other billionaires out there, they were the ones who had their own business and liquid assets. In the black community, our number one asset is what? Our home ownership. So what market crashed during that period of time? The housing market. Our homes are... That's right. So our houses were our number one investment. So when that market dropped 50, 75%, what happened to our liquidity if it was tied up in that home? What happened to our overall investments? It dropped too. So now that's when if you look in our communities now, you're seeing a process of gentrification. Folks who have liquid money coming in and buying up depressed property and changing the community. You want to see a good example of that? Look at Harlem. Look at certain parts of Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. When I go back to visit my clients in those areas, I have to look twice sometimes because, well, just last year I was in Brooklyn, right off of Linden Boulevard, and I saw some folks jogging in the street. And I said, wait a minute, what's going on here? Now, I'm saying some folks to be kind. All right. Any other time, I mean, you go back 5 years ago, if I saw folks running in the street, you're looking to making sure there's no gunfire or no police officers are chasing them. But these folks were jogging in the street with these little lap dogs. I said, wait a minute, gentrification. So what happened? Those buildings that were once lost when the housing market crashed, the folks that had liquid assets, the liquid resources, they went in and bought them up. So when we talk about this aspect of cryptocurrency, it is another aspect of ways folks are going to make sure they have liquid assets in one form or another to be able to transact business. That's why it's important that you're doing this show, talking about cryptocurrency, because we need to know where the liquid assets are going to be. We have to know where the water flows. If you know where the water flows, then you know where to go. All right, or you're going to be left in the desert somewhere wondering where did the water flow to.
Now that's major right there, because I'm also thinking too, along the lines of what you said, is remember, cryptocurrency allows you and I to engage in our own private transaction.
Yep, that's right.
That is outside of the taxation system.
Mm-hmm.
So is it like, I have certain property, real estate. You and I can do cryptocurrency deals. We transact where we exchange this piece of real estate for that. And that's just between you and us. That's
right.
Just between you and I.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting.
Well, one thing I'll say this about cryptocurrency. It's basically working on the aspect of services right now. Because when you use the illustration of real estate, okay, real estate has a tangible value. So in other words, you can go, if you give me the lot address and the area address, I can go touch that real estate, right? Whether there's a building on it or not, I can touch the real estate within, right where it is. So that's tangible. And these things that are tangible, that allows the prevailing government to be able to assess a tax value on that property. When we transfer the deed of that business, then we're transferring value. So you and I may be able to transfer, okay, I sell or you sell to me and we exchange cryptocurrency. But the person that has the title or the deed, they're going to have to pay in American currency the taxes.
The taxes, right?
Right. So the people that are engaging in this business, they actually have two forms of currency, especially if they're using tangible assets. Okay. Now the other side of the type of asset is what we call intangible. If we are selling services where, and I'm going to point one out because I'm looking at the list of all the different cryptocurrencies that have come out since 2014 or 2013, and there's a lot of them. But there is one cryptocurrency, I'm not going to give the name of it, but it is based on the adult industry. Okay? Okay, it says the first cryptocurrency to be nominated for a major adult industry award. So what is it telling you that they're selling? They're selling things in the adult industry. And whether it's services or some forms of products, there are some things that are going on. And then we've even talked about this a little bit before. In the underground area of drug trafficking. They are using some form of cryptocurrency. Oh, and the key to this is that there's no one cryptocurrency. I'm looking at a list of about 20 different types. and they're going to come and go. So what we have is a group of people who are like-minded. The best example I can give right now, think of a mutual fund investment. Think of a mutual fund. With a mutual fund, you have people from all different walks of life buying an account that has a mutual objective. So instead of them a person going out and buying, 10 stocks of entertainment stock, they buy one mutual fund that buys and sells those stocks within it. Right. So instead of you having all one stock for yourself, now you got 100 people buying and selling that mutual fund between them. Cryptocurrency is working a similar way. They got different founding, different people who started it, different names for it. So depending upon what is it that you're trying to transact, there's a group of people that they can work with. Now, how does that work with our American currency? First thing is that the IRS is looking at it because they are seeing money or currency being transferred, and they don't get any taxes off of it. If the IRS is not getting their money, they're going to change some tax laws. And how are they going to manage this? That's the big question right now. So if you come across cryptocurrency, be aware of what it is. And, and Doc, I always say this, is that don't be afraid, be aware. All right? Don't be afraid of what's out there, because this is how it's going to work. This is how business is going to transact in the future. I was telling my son is that, in another generation or another 25, 30 years, you're going to see more forms of currency come about, especially now that we're in a global economy. A global economy will continue to push that. The American dollar can be found in basically every part of the world. And if you have countries such as Russia and China fighting to devalue the American dollar, then there's going to have to be another value to come up to help take its place or help put some type of currency or value in our hands. And it doesn't cease to amaze me if cryptocurrency or one of them will take a leading stance, and then that may be the benchmark or the guide that many others will follow. Now I know that was a long answer to a short question.
No. But it was in depth, and people, we have to understand the extent, the enormity, and the intricacies of how all this works. And like you said, people, they get scared, And so when people are scared, they'll either be paralyzed or they'll retreat.
That's right.
Whereas those that don't have fear, but they're aware, they come to and they attack. They choose to engage.
That's right.
That's when we have to get that mind state.
That's
you have to get that mind state.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I was thinking about was, as we enter this era of complexity, change, competition, people are like, okay, well, we hear about these cryptocurrencies and all this. How do I protect myself if there's a collapse? And like you said, you need to have your business. These are the people that sustain through the hits. And so, people, if you're listening, Source Nation, if you're listening, have your business. Grow, make a business plan.
Yeah.
Map it out. Start your business. Have assets and capital. You need to have a business.
That's right.
You need to have some equipment or some technology that can produce products and provide services that people need. That's how you guarantee survivability in this new millennium that we're in. Do you have a business, or do you have equipment or technology that you can use to produce products and services? That's what it's all about. Money is only an instrument. It's a tool that is recognized or acknowledged in a system that allows you to obtain goods and services. That's all money is. So people, you're out there trying to get shoeboxes full of cash, and that shoeboxes full of cash, silly Serta-Posturepedic mattresses filled with cash, that it means nothing. If the dollar collapses, you're sitting on nothing but paper. The objective, the real objective, is when you get paid. You work your sweat to the brow. When you get that paycheck, your goal is, one, get out of debt. So people are coming out with college debt, they've got car debt, they've got mortgages, they've got consumer debt. You want to get out of debt, that's one goal. And the other thing is, when you get paid, you want to take that money, that American dollar, and you want to find a way to transform that dollar into capital and assets.
That's right.
These are what's going. So it's kind of like when I get paid, right? If I get paid Friday, I'm on my Johnny Kemp. Just got paid. It's Friday night. I get my money. Now I can get my money and say, you know what? Let me go buy me a 4K high definition video camera. Yeah. Okay, I just purchased some technology. I just purchased some assets, some capital, something that now, you know what, I can go out and film something. That's and right. From that film, I can go ahead and sell something and generate money. And the money I get from that, flip it again. Yeah. Get some more assets, get some more capital that'll transform things. I think about it when I was growing up in New York.
Yeah.
Man, when it snowed, some kids will stay inside watching cartoons, drinking hot chocolate. Me and my boys, what we do?
Got yourself a shovel.
Got them shovels.
Yeah.
Man, we shovel that snow.
And then if you listen, and then if you was really good, right? You get yourself a shovel. You do enough work, and then you talk to your parents about getting a snowblower. So now what have you done? You know, where you used to be able to do maybe just 3 or 4 yards in an hour or so. Now you got your snowblower. You can do 3 or 4 blocks. All right. So now you're bringing in the money, and you are producing a better product, and you're able to raise your fees. So those are the things that, you know, when you're doing business, those are the things that we have to see, not just where we are, but where we want to be. And if we can understand where we want to be and design the plan to get there, then lo and behold, people are looking for other folks that are successful. That's one of the reasons why, Trump was elected, because they said, whoa, he was a successful businessman. Folks want to gravitate toward people they believe that are successful. So if we continue to be stagnant in our thinking when it comes to our money, when it comes to business, when it comes to being proactive in the community, for as long as we are stagnant, there is no growth. There are times, you grow through pain. That's why they call it growing pains. And when you grow through pains, you develop a level of strength. When we exercise, all right, and we lift those weights, we run those miles, we stretch those limbs, we're causing our body to go through a series of pain. But in that pain, once it goes to the resting stage, it gets what? It gets stronger. And that's when you think about making a steel, when you think about how martial artists are able to break bricks and knock down trees with their hands and feet, is because for a series of time that metal or those bones of theirs were broken down, but they were allowed to repair, and when they repaired, they came back stronger. And that's how those things become invincible and stronger. So when we pull our resources together, when we focus, as a matter of fact, I was just talking a little earlier about, the difference between having a job and having a business. On a job, you are working to promote someone else's business. You have ideas and visions. You can promote your own business. Now, here's the point. Magic Johnson, when he was working for, when he was working for the Lakers, he was an employee of the Lakers. They owned his contract, and if they wanted to sell that contract to somebody else, he was subjected to that. But once he stopped working for them, what did he do? He took his money, like you said, Doc, and went out and bought some assets. And the assets, and also some capital. He took the capital, bought assets, and those assets made more capital. What did he buy? He bought Starbucks. He bought movie theaters. He bought things that produced money. He didn't go out and buy a cup of coffee. You hear me? He didn't buy a cup of coffee. He went out and bought the coffee maker. All right? He didn't go out and spend his money to watch a movie. He bought the movie theater. And then what happened? These items were what? Income producing, capital producing investments. So what are we saying to our listening audience? We need to focus on, if you have money, this is tax season. Stop spending your money on things you don't need to buy things, you don't like, okay? Hold on to your money. Let that money make money for you. Even if it's a small investment account, or if you own your own business, do something and reinvest in that business, even through your own education. Invest in your own education where you come back and not only are you more marketable, but your business is too. And that's how we're going to keep money and build money.
The other thing too, Brother Mitchell, I want people to think about this too. I'm going to run it down to y'all. This is how I want you to think about this. I was reading The Blueprint for Black Power by Dr. Amos Wilson. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if the dollar was to collapse and you needed some milk from the store, what do you have in exchange to give this man at the register that has the milk? He's not taking cash anymore. That means you have to have something of substance to give in exchange for what you need.
That's right.
So when we talk about if this country was to collapse, the economy was to collapse, how do you protect and insulate yourself? One of the things, you got to do your research, but you can invest in stocks and bonds and securities outside of America.
Yeah.
Understand there's an exchange for this. I have shares in a company in Australia. Mm-hmm. Okay? So if something was to go bad in America, I still have part ownership. I have shares in a company that's still generating revenue independent of the American economy. Now, the other thing is, I want everybody to write this man's name down. Harold E. Doley Jr. Harold E. Doley, D-O-L-E-Y Jr. This is a black man from New Orleans. Y'all don't hear about him too much. I hear about Reggie Lewis, but you don't hear too much about Harold E. Doley Jr. Mm-hmm. He's still alive. Since 1986, he managed over $100 billion for the African Development Bank. What is he doing? He's purchased bonds and securities from African developing countries since the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay? And so he has ownership of this. This is real stuff. So when we talk about bonds, when you invest in municipal bonds and things of that nature, that means when it comes to road construction, airports, when it comes to waterways and water infrastructure, or your infrastructural development, they sell bonds to you. Mm-hmm. And you buy the bonds, and they're in debt to pay you these bonds back on top of interest.
Yeah.
So he's owned over $1 billion in African development since the late 80s. Harold E. Doley Jr. So that is another way of protecting yourself for the future.
That's right.
Here's the other thing that I want you to think about. It is about owning real resources, okay? It's not the money. The real stuff. When you own your business and the resources, you're in a powerful and negotiating agreement. Why is that important? I'm talking about the natural resources, the lumber, the forestry, the rubber, the plastics, lithium, neodymium, nickel, cobalt, copper, praseodymium, all the things that make up the supermagnets, uranium, plutonium, oil. What are the different elements that make up the solar panels? What do you think is inside of your MRI machines, your CT machines, X-ray machines, inside the drones, inside the missiles, inside the lasers? What do you think is inside these autonomous vehicles? What do you think is running hydroelectric, electromagnetic, thermonuclear combustion systems? These are raw earth metals and minerals and materials that these companies are going all over. They're surveying the globe and they're buying this stuff up and they're repackaging it in a different form in your cell phone and your laptop and all of that, and they're making billions of dollars. They're not spending their money on joint venture killers. It is bigger than that. Water is still going to be a real key commodity. Rare plants and vegetation, because they have chemical components that the medical industry synthesizes to make money. So we need, if we want to protect ourselves in the future, need to start partnering up with ourselves, partnering up outside of the United States with companies that know how to procure and extract all of this, remanufacture it, and ship it all around the globe. Partner up. That's how we can also do that. Brother Mitchell, I'm sorry.
No, hey, brother, I'm on your show, brother. Listen, there's nothing. I say this so many times. Is that when the more people we have sharing sound financial, not just financial information, but sharing sound information, the better our community is going to be. My mother said to me many years ago, is that knowledge is only good if you're able to share it with someone else. And for us to be able to have this type of dialogue and have such a responsive listening audience, over our internet radio and even on Facebook, the key is that for as many times as we're able to say this one time, someone else is out there that's going to take it and do something with it. How far they take it, we don't know. But one thing we do know, we need to be a contributing factor. Listen, the wind is going to blow. How much is that sailboat going to catch in that wind? We don't know. Depends on the size of the sail. So if someone only has a little sail, the wind that we're throwing out is going to take them but so far. But if they open up their sail or they have multiple sails in different sizes, hey, what we're saying will take them as far as they could possibly go. And then if they're smart, they'll have some rows on their boat. So if we stop blowing wind, they can drop their oar and keep their boat moving. All right?
I love it.
So that's what we're doing. And when you talk about the global aspect of where we're putting money, that's just not in our day-to-day life, but it's also where we plan to be in the future. All right? So don't just look at the American economy. Look at the other economies, and all those minerals you mentioned, they are coming from this place where Howard Dooley Jr. is investing. They're coming from, he's investing in the African economy. It is mighty funny how we have always been told, don't go to Africa. Take your money, go over to Europe, go vacation in Europe, but don't go to Africa. But everyone else is going to Africa to get the natural resources. So we've been told to stay away from the resources that are in Africa and take our money and spend it over on things in Europe. How many of us have been to Europe? And then you take those same group of people, how many of us have been over to Africa? All right? It's where's the money's flowing. All right? So that natural resource is a key factor in how the money's going to flow. If the American currency is no longer of value, and we've had currencies go undervalued before. Let's go back to the Civil War. Here in the South, Confederate money was a big thing. But once they lost the war, that Confederate money couldn't buy them a handkerchief. So what happened? Another form of currency took over. And that's why the government is so concerned about cryptocurrency. Is it going to take over within the next 40, 50 years or less? We don't know. but we want to stay well informed.
Tyrone S. Mitchell on the Pendulum with Doc Swag. I want to thank our sponsors, WGLRO.com, Scott Sears Foundation, Urban Grandstand Digital, Meet My Types Matchmaking, Blends, Renovations, Cat Photography, Hits Masters, New Covenant of Praise Worship Center, and PS Photography. This is Source Radio with you tonight, Source Nation. Hit me on Twitter at DocSwag06, DOCSWAGG06, my website, blackladder.net. This is Tyrone S. Mitchell, Power of Tomorrow. Tyrone, do you want to drop the last word?
Listen, the last word that I always say to everyone is be well, be blessed, and be your best.
All right. Well, Source Nation, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we get some light and enjoyment and some education. And we are out. Peace.
All right. Hey, that was my friend Dr. Swygert from DC. That young man is bad. I'm telling you, if you get a chance to go to his website, his name is Dr. What's that website? It's Samori Swygert. I think it's under Dr. Swygert, but anyway, if you need his website information, I'll post it on Facebook. He's dynamite. And when we talk about different aspects of community community involvement, he's doing a great thing, and I'm really glad to be able to take part of his program, his 8 o'clock show. I think we're going to be doing this a little bit more often, being able to exchange ideas and also improve upon the ideas and concerns that folks have. Being able to do that is an opportunity that we must endure to have, and we must grab hold of. Someone said to me a little earlier this week, matter of fact, one of my elderly clients, she said, our people perish for the lack of knowledge. And that is so true. So when we talk about power over tomorrow, or on the show we just finished, the pendulum, if you think about a pendulum, it swings from one side to the next. But when the pendulum is dead center, all of its weight is right there. So we swing sometimes from left to right, being able to find where the center is. When we look at the title Power Over Tomorrow, is that knowledge is power, and we have to recognize the economic, political power that exists within our community so that we can function well enough to be able to provide a sound financial future, and the type of future that our children will not be afraid of, but be aware and also achieve in that aspect. So once again, I want to thank Dr. Swygert for inviting me on his program. I truly enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take some time right now and enjoy the rest of the evening, and I want you to do the same. But remember, each and every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, we're here on Facebook Live, Power Over Tomorrow. As a matter of fact, we're going to continue our lessons on teaching our children the truth about business. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your day. Be well, be blessed, and be your best. Take care.